ahead of that, the anti-abortion rally in front of the Supreme Court in D.C. A Monday a week ago. If you remember that, this Nazi pastor from Kentucky, this sorry son of a bitch named Greg Locke, I've mentioned him before. He told his Tennessee congregation in church on Sunday, week and a half ago, quote, "You ain't seen an insurrection yet." That's what he said. He runs this scam called the Global Vision Bible Church. It's just a fucking scam. It's horrifying. But he made that provocative statement during his sermon last Sunday in his shithole of a church near Nashville. And during the sermon, this pro-Trump son of a bitch, Greg Locke, railed against Democrats who he said could not be Christian unless they believed that Donald Trump was the answer to the problems in this country, and unless they supported abortion rights. I mean, if they supported abortion rights, it couldn't be a Christian. Now, Locke attended on the steps of the Supreme Court, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday? Yeah, I think so. The Rally for Life during this controversy surrounding a lot of media, like Newsweek, say it's a possibility that the landmark Roe v. Wade ruling could be overturned. Bullshit. It's a done deal. And Newsweek has pointed out that when that happens, several states would end access to abortion in all circumstances. And Greg Locke was joined by another Nazi fuck named Sean Frucht, F-E-U-C-H-T, Frucht, who has previously led anti-Disney rallies with his Christian Nazi group that is called Hold the Line. And Greg Locke said in a video that's on his filthy shithole of a church's website, this, quote, "If you vote Democrat, I don't even want you around this church. You can get out. You can get out, you demon. You can get out, you baby butchering election thief. You cannot be Christian and vote Democrat in this nation. I don't care how mad that makes you. You can get as pissed off as you want to. You cannot be a Christian and vote Democrat in this nation. They are God-denying demons that butcher babies and hate this nation," end quote. I mean, that's coming from the filthy mouth of someone who claims to be a pastor, a teacher of the Gospels, a believer in Jesus of Nazareth. Oh my God. And during that Sunday sermon, this sorry bastard told his congregation that he was, quote, sick of hearing about the riot on January 6, 2021. And that's when he added this, quote, "Let me tell you something. You ain't seen an insurrection yet. You keep on pushing our buttons, you low-down, sorry compromisers, you God-hating communists, and you'll find out what an insurrection is, because we ain't playing your garbage. We ain't playing your mess. My Bible says that the Church of the Living God is an institution, that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And the Bible says they will take it by force." End quote. Oh my God. I mean, that's what it's come to. And so much media in the country calls this the inability of both sides to talk to each other. Are you fucking kidding me? I wonder if CNN and MSNBC and the over-the-air networks would have said the same thing when Hitler was spewing his hate, his Christian hate, all over Germany, all over Europe, I wonder if television, had there been television back then, the way we have it now, if the commentators would have said, well, you know, the Nazis, they're just National Socialists, no big deal. The Nazis are arguing with the not Nazis, and maybe if everybody could just find a way to compromise. That's what MSNBC would say. That's what CNN would say. Because MSNBC and CNN and the over-the-air networks are still talking about the inability of the Democrats and the Republicans to get along in Washington. There is no Republican Party anymore. It's this. It's this stuff. Okay. Well, what Locke was referring to, of course, when he said, you keep on pushing our buttons, you low down, sorry, compromisers, you God-hating communists. He was referring to, of course, to the riot at the U.S. Capitol last year, when the members of the Trump cult stormed the building to do what they were trying to do. And this sorry son of a bitch, this Greg Locke, this self-proclaimed pastor, has continuously promoted the bullshit claim that the election was stolen from Trump, including during last Sunday's sermon. Unreal. And this sorry bastard, Greg Locke, has made all sorts of incendiary comments, including he threatened to expose members of his own church who were what he said were witches in his congregation. Now, seriously, I mean, you don't have to have anything beyond a high school education to understand that this man is seriously deranged. And he has access to hundreds of thousands of people. And he is talking about he's going to find the witches in his congregation and he's going to expose them. In a sermon that this psychotic bastard gave February 13th, he told the crowd, his congregation, that he had the names of 6 witches and that 3 were there in the audience that Sunday. Now he didn't point the finger of Almighty God at them to set them on fire, but he has the names of 6 witches. This is like the McCarthy hearings in the 1950s. You know, the Army McCarthy hearings. The charge that the U.S. military at the highest levels was chock-a-block with communists. And the senator from Wisconsin who started all this shit sat there. Now, I didn't see it live. I mean, come on. But I remember my mother listening to it on our little Philco or whatever the hell it was, 12-inch television. But I read about it and I saw the videos, or they weren't videos, they were kinescope recordings. Later, you can find them online, where Senator Joe McCarthy holds up a sheath of papers and he says, I think it was McCarthy, he says, I have here the names, a list of the names of the communists who are in the, was it Eisenhower? Yeah, Eisenhower administration. They're in the military. I have their names. Now, of course, the names were never revealed because it was a bullshit. Joe McCarthy was a fucking psycho, just like this so-called Christian pastor, this Nazi Greg Locke, who says there are 6 witches in his congregation, and he has the names of 3. No, he has the names of all 6. But 3 of them were in his audience that Sunday. Ooh, I'm surprised they didn't just shrivel down in their pew and turn into a bat and just fly up to the rafters of the shithole church that he runs, and I don't know what, make itself 100 times bigger and swoop down and bite the fuck out of Greg Locke's neck? I mean, this is what's going on in mega Christian churches around this country. This guy in Texas, Jeffress, he's another one. Is it Dallas? He has a congregation of 25,000 people? He's another one. Greg Locke and Jeffress, and they're all over the place. And they are preaching, I don't even want to call it a gospel. They're preaching this message of pure psychosis. And remember what I've said 100 times, okay, maybe 20, okay, maybe 10 times on this podcast, and you know this. I mean, I don't think you come here to learn things. I really don't. Not my audience. You folks know this shit. You come here, I guess, just to share in the shock and the horror. But religious nuttery, religious fascism is absolutely the worst. Because as I've said, and as you know, when you have religious insanity, the people who subscribe to or are enmeshed in that insanity are doing what they consider to be God's will. And Greg Locke is talking about, you ain't seen an insurrection yet, motherfucker. We are going to rise up. Now, he didn't say that. I don't think he would use the word motherfucker. But the message he's putting out there, I mean, people get it. Can you imagine these goddamn rednecks sitting in this Global Vision Bible church up in Tennessee? These crazy fuckers sitting there going, yeah, Greg, I'm going home and get my fucking AR-15 and my old lady's AR-15. We're going to kill us some Democrats. This is the Christian religion. Now, I've said this before, too. A lot of people say, well, Malloy, you can't condemn all the Christians. The fuck I can't. Of course I can. Because how many mainstream Christians, you know what I mean by that? You know, Christians who just want to go worship Jesus or something and pray to their God and read their Bible and go home and have dinner and, you know, try to live a decent life. How many of those are left? Like the Republican Party is a goddamn rotting corpse. I'm beginning to think that the Christian religion, not just in this country, but all over the fucking planet, is the same thing, a rotting corpse. And the maggots that are coming out of that rotting corpse are people like Greg Locke and William Jeffress and the rest of these psychos. And they're egging on their congregants to what? Religious murder, religious warfare. You think I'm being too, over the top with this? If you spend a certain amount of time researching what these people are saying, what they are trying to promote their audiences into, the state of mind they're trying to put people into, I don't think you would feel that your buddy Malloy here is overstating a goddamn thing. If anything, I'm understating it. Back in January, this Greg Locke, this crazy man, he was the one that organized a great big bonfire, just like Fahrenheit 451. Here we are, Harry Potter and the Twilight books as other items that he decided were demonic. Big fucking bonfires on the church property. Burn the books. You know what comes after burning books, don't you? Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.